That thing's heavy enough to be a whip. Could you imagine taking like a bump on that?
Or even just like someone accidentally stepping on it and you're like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God.
Girl, What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ring the Bell. This is the Wednesday Night Wars edition. My name is Joey.
I am Moxie Molly, the interdimensional She-Ro. And let me say it once more, Joey. This is the Wednesday Night Women's Wars.
Women's Wars. My bad, because this is not just the edition. This is a weekly show.
High five.
Before we dive into what happened on NXT and AEW, we're going to talk about what happened on NXT UK. We have to do it entirely in bad British accents.
Do you want to know a funny story about British accents?
Yes, I do.
One time I worked as a server at a Steak and Shake. I just like walked in and I was like, today I'm going to be British. Would you like the Frisco?
Oh, crumpet.
But there was even like people that like walked in and they were like, oh, can we sit in the British girls section? I made a lot of money. I had an entire backstory why I was in America and lived in Indiana. No, it doesn't matter now.
Okay. This week on NXT UK, we had a women's main event match. It was Piper Niven versus Jazzy Gabert, who had wonderful fashionista Miss Jenny in her corner.
Jenny, like on Harry Potter.
I love Jenny. Jenny's my favorite. Her whole attitude, her vibe, how she walks to the ring, even down to like how she holds herself when she fights, works for me. What did you think about Piper versus Jazzy?
I think when you just say the name Jazzy and you say the name Piper, you already know that both ladies are going to put on a stellar performance and a solid match. In this match they did. Do I have any wow moments? The entire match was a wow moment. There's not one thing that sticks out.
There is for me, and it is Jazzy's extensions.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot all about it, Queen.
How did you forget about Jazzy's extensions?
Dude, I did not even know.
She looked at ODB and says, I'm gonna one up you, bitch. She was like,
yeah. You're right. There are some serious ODB vibes coming off of her.
Scary ODB. Not like, I don't want to party with Jazzy.
No, yeah, I'd be afraid to party with her.
Overall, we saw the match end with Rhea Ripley coming to the aid to stop Jenny from distracting Piper and getting Jazzy the win. Piper finished her off with a lovely senton.
We were kind of discussing how her senton kind of like mid-air turns into an elbow drop, and I think it just super accentuates like the grandness that is that move.
I think it does too, and it also kind of shows, because normally when you see a senton and people are jumping just a little bit too far, and it's so noticeable. It's like, okay, I know what you're supposed to believe. When you see her do it, because she's landing more on that elbow, you see like the real like slam of her weight on someone, and it looks devastating.
Yeah, sentons are devastating.
Me and Paloma were fighting, and Cody gave her a senton.
Cody gave Paloma a senton? Paloma is the senton queen! What is he doing serving that back at her?
He didn't just serve it, like he jumped up on it, he left a tip.
That's what she said.
They're engaged. Well, match ended thanks to my girl Rhea Ripley coming out. I'm very excited because I think that match is going to set up Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven to go up against Jenny and Jazzy next week, or at least sometime in the future, and oh my God. Let's jump back to America, and we're going to cover this week's NXT, which once again, the first thing we got to see out of the women on NXT this week was my girl Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley went up against Aliyah. She just got massacred by Rhea.
Well, when your gear looks that stunning, your look is oof.
Yes,
fierce.
I love the straps. I love everything. Her hair looks amazing.
Yeah.
I love that she's got Vanessa with her. At this point, she kind of treats Vanessa Bourne like an accessory.
I like how you said that, as an accessory. I don't necessarily 100% like understand her gimmick, but like with the gear, how it's like those chains or whatever, kind of like trying to be the Kardashians. You see them together a lot. You see one perform more than the other one. They like are besties that love each other. They're also just kind of Kardashian-ish.
One of the hires got her ass whooped this week. Rhea did not come to mess around. That submission into that face slam, whatever you want to call it, bad ass, girl.
So, continuing our conversation last week where we said that we feel Shayna Baszler deserves everything that's given to her, but we've seen the same thing over and over and over and over, and now we're just starting to dislike her.
Rhea's gonna whoop her ass. ass.
Yes, this is what's really exciting me about that is how we were saying like they're building Shayna as a beast. Rhea Ripley doesn't have to be built as a beast.
Yeah.
She's badass. That is not an act. That is who she is. She empowers everything that is fierce.
She's the man. Becky Lynch wants to come out on Raw or SmackDown or wherever she's going to end up every week and talk about being the man.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley's the man.
Give me a too sweet on that. My point is, I'm glad that they're bringing Rhea Ripley over from NXT UK. They don't even have to build her as a beast. Can you just imagine when it becomes Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler? Just how they keep letting Shayna Baszler win with that same submission, and then out of nowhere, Rhea Ripley was like, BAM! I'm gonna like crush you.
Finish her.
This is my brutality.
Just those two, I can't wait.
I'm
I
just
need
ready
it.
to see Rhea whoop that ass. Honest to God, this match was my match of the week. No lie.
All the matches we're gonna speak about tonight, match of the week, maybe even better than most of the male matches.
And it was 4 minutes. Rhea Ripley, she's a beast. She's wonderful. Aliyah, they do need to work on you, but sorry. Rhea's going to save wrestling for me.
In a time that the wrestling world was barren and you're roaming the desert of no great wrestling for 40 years. Out of nowhere, the waters parted and the sun shone down. And there, what's that? It's Rhea Ripley.
This is my brutality! So, buy me a ticket to that movie. I will do it. We did get treated to yet another women's contest on NXT. We got Dakota Kai, who's came back looking really fierce, actually, versus the EST of NXT, the hair-whipping Bianca Belair.
She was serving us serious chessier cat vibes.
Ooh. I didn't think about it like that.
Did she wear the same thing twice ever?
I don't think so. She got kicked the hell out of this match. Dakota Kai came to play.
You could just tell that she was so ready to be back in the ring. Like, it was just radiating off of her. She was so happy to be there. Her energy was there. She's like, I'm here. I'm not letting you take this away from me. I'm gonna make this mine. This is my night. This is my match.
And then she kicked her a lot. Some of the stuff she was pulling out of nowhere.
I know.
I loved it. Like that arch kind of forward scorpion kick.
Yeah. In my brain, I was like, how many hours do you think she's just like sits on the couch and thinks of new ways to get into kicks?
Probably a lot. It's probably the same way that I sit on the couch when I'm thinking of like match stuff and I'm like, oh, what kind of like comedy spot can I do in this?
But also, you know what? She has been off for a very long time because of her injury, so I think she was probably like,
she got a whole new repertoire.
Yeah, and you just like sit there and you think of like new things you could do. And she most definitely did.
Yes, she did. On the flip side of this coin, Bianca didn't show me much. I'm not gonna lie, I love Bianca. I think she's one of the most talented women on the NXT roster.
Agreed.
This match was all about Dakota Kai.
I think it's kind of the story they needed to tell because I feel like we've seen Bianca and she's like kind of been carrying that super uber attitude-y heel, but I think that Dakota, we need her to come back and establish herself. Like, she is not here to play, and so I think that's kind of the story they needed was, Bianca, you're not so invincible.
For what happened after the match with Bianca kind of hitting her with the finish and going right into the thing, her hitting that finish to me was the equivalent of a roll-up.
It was just out of nowhere. She didn't really get anything in. It was just
I was
like
waiting for the hair whip out of desperation.
Yeah, I
and
know.
it didn't happen. But I miss the hair whip. I imagine she doesn't do it all the time because it hurts people. That's your theme song, is the hair whip. Do it.
Another thing I noticed about this match, she is like uncanny, like falling without falling on her braid. Even when she bumps, she like somehow like whips her hair just perfectly enough so it like goes off over here and that
that
doesn't
thing's
fall
heavy enough to be a whip. Could you imagine taking like a bump on that?
Or even just like someone accidentally stepping on it and you're like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god,
girl,
It took a lot of practice with that.
The promo afterwards, really good. It was really solid.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and it set up a match that is going to blow the effing roof off of Full Sail University.
And what match is that, Joey?
Hasn't been announced yet, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna be Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley in a #1 contenders match, and oh my god, I cannot wait.
I can imagine it to be the best match I've ever seen in my life, and it's gonna be better.
Can I blow your mind?
Do it.
And make it better?
How are you gonna make it better?
Triple threat with Io Shirai.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, if that happens, oh my god, I'd be really excited. Either way, if it's that one-on-one or a triple threat, I'm down for both. give it to me. Overall, NXT, really solid night for the women. We also got a promo again for Tegan Knox, who's going to be coming back hopefully really soon.
The video package-ish, the backstage promo between Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai. I really love how they're building both of these girls are like coming back from an injury and like they're really inspirational, but I almost feel like they're both starting to lose their individuality. They're kind of making them similar, like telling the same story. Like these girls came back out of an injury.
I'm kind of okay with that solely because now we do have tag belts in the women's division.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So making two people a team, I'm okay with it.
I always go back to the Iconics because as much as like they've gotten a lot of like flack for their character, they've got a good gimmick. They are so good together. They're both still individuals. There's so much out there, especially in women's wrestling, that hasn't been explored. I feel like you can be a team yet still be an individual.
Overall, really solid night from NXT, but let's go ahead and move on to AEW. This week's episode of BoomBlast.
Oh my god, I heard all about BoomBlast.
I love BoomBlast.
Shout out to our editor, Dynamite Skye, who will now be referred to forever as BoomBlast Skye.
BoomBlast Skye.
BoomBlast Skye!
Get that iconic there.
I know.
This week on AEW, we, again, only got one women's match.
Spill the tea, homeboy.
I got coffee, but whatever. AEW started like marketing themselves as this beacon for like equality, for like women's wrestling, for trans and LGBT performers, making it AEW for everyone. So far, y'all ain't been giving us that.
We're told that this is supposed to be like a women's division like we've never seen. Granted, a lot of the names that are signed into it are like phenomenal performers, and it's not like people who are sports models. These are legitimate people who have like wrestled for years. What we're seeing on actual television, I'm getting the feeling they don't really know what they're doing with the women. Come on, AEW, you have all of these really seasoned storytellers. One kink in the chain shouldn't like just be Yahtzee and you suddenly don't know what to do with the division. Like there should always be a plan B or a plan C or even a plan D in case of injuries. It's not been easy for the AEW women's division, I'll tell you that much. Right now, it just feels like you've promised us so much. It was an empty promise. I love what the women are doing. It's just I don't understand. And then we saw last week Kenny Omega come out and help Riho, and then we didn't even see Kenny Omega on television.
Or Nyla Rose, who brutally attacked her after a... Okay, hopefully they will hear our plea and kind of fix some stuff, but let's dive into what they did give us this week. We got the team of Emi Sakura and B. Priestley going up against Dr. Britt Baker and the brand new AEW World Women's Champion, Riho. What were your thoughts on this? Because I've got some...
Well, behind the scenes, last week we spoke about how it had to be kind of hard for the match because Nyla speaks a different language than Riho speaks. So I do think it was ingenuitive to bring in not only someone who speaks the same language as Riho, someone who trained her, because your trainer can often bring out the best features of you. This week, I'm still wanting more from Riho. No disrespect to her. She's an amazing performer. It's just I've seen film of her where she's performing better than what I'm seeing on television.
I'm a little bored with her already. The one that got like the TV time and the press time and stuff was Nyla. Like she was the one they were really focusing on. Riho she's just not doing it for me. Her as a performer she's the ultimate underdog, and they kept calling her out for it this week, like on commentary. She legit weighs like 100 pounds. She's not a threat. I need her to give me something to kind of like sink my teeth into to really get behind her as a fan.
So we're seeing this baby face who has all this potential, and honestly, in films that I've seen outside of AEW can give it. I don't know if she's intimidated by the thousands of people watching. If you don't speak American, that's fine, but I don't even get like this thing where she's like reaching for something, trying to get the crowd behind her or anything. She's amazing. I don't see what I've seen elsewhere transferring to television. It's kind of confusing to me why that's happening.
Yeah, it's not working well. Like, this match this week, on paper, it looks great. It looks fantastic. Because I know Emi Sakura can go. I've seen her go. Her gimmick, she's still coming out looking like Freddie Mercury, which is odd.
I adore it.
I think it's cute.
Yeah.
When she did it in the 6-person tag at All In, when she did that, I was like, oh, cool. I like this chick.
Yeah.
Now I'm just kind of like, okay, are you trying to be like Japanese Jillian Hall? What you giving me here? They have this feud going on between Britt Baker and B. Priestley over the whole concussion thing, which honestly they don't play up in commentary or anything like that. So like if you didn't have that backstory or you didn't watch for the last couple weeks, you would have no idea why these two women are at each other's throat.
I think I heard mention of it once while Dr. Britt Baker was walking out. It should be a pinnacle of the storyline going on, and honestly, if the World Women's Championship wasn't on the line, which it wasn't, I don't understand why we couldn't have just had Britt Baker versus B. Priestley.
And it would have been great because the crowd knew what was going on.
Right.
And they were behind those two when they got in the ring. They weren't really behind Riho. They could really give less of a fuck about Emi Sakura.
So I don't know if they did it like in the like wrestling mind that the champ should always be seen and the champ should be a fighting champion, but they didn't put the championship on the line, so we're losing that fighting champion anyway. It would have just been cool maybe if she like escorted Britt Baker out to like maybe sort of establish some sort of kindredship, like faces stick together.
But Britt Baker wasn't performing like a face either.
No, you're right. She was like sassy, like tweener.
Then you had no follow-up from the fact that Nyla beat down Riho and an interviewer last week.
Right.
So, what's going on?
Maybe as I was saying about NXT last week, they're trying to make these storylines. We'll get it piece by piece because they have to put on a weekly television show now. If you're going to shove the women's champion in her face and have her on television merely because she's the champion, give me 90 seconds of Nyla walking out and being pissed or something like that.
Or Nyla beating the piss out of her.
Right. Riho almost gets the win. Nyla out of nowhere, yanks her out, and then out of nowhere, Britt Baker jumps in, takes over, and wins. That would have been a much more climactic match than what we got.
And then you could have B come out and hit Britt Baker, then it sets up a nice tag team match. Hi, AEW, can we have a job?
Yeah, I can do commentary as well as storytell as well as wrestle.
Yay. I just need a little bit more. I'm hoping to see more. Overall, this was a really fun week in women's wrestling. There was a lot of good, a lot of like meh, and then some bad. BoomBlast moment of the week. Definitely going to give it to torture rack leg and then smash face move that Rhea Ripley was giving.
That was mine.
Oh, was it yours?
Yeah. If I had to pick a second one, it was baller of Britt Baker to be like, oh, my hand is in your mouth.
Oh.
First of all, whoever thought I'm going to be a dentist as a gimmick? Her gimmick is ingenuitive. It like has real life aspects because she's honestly a dentist. And I just like it.
I love it a lot. Her great uncle, Sir Isaac Yankum, is so proud. Never be a dentist.
I have no plans to.
All right, so that's this week in NXT AEW, the Wednesday night Women's Wars. Got you. I got you.
Who do you think won?
Leave some comments down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Joey.
Moxie.
Where can people find you? You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter at the Moxie Molly. And this is something Joey doesn't even know. I am currently building my own YouTube channel. I kind of am just gonna answer all the questions you've left below and answer back if you're being a hater.
I also have social
There we go, yeah.
You can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Joey_Mayberry, or you can follow me at Joey Mayberry on TikTok. Also, I too have a Snapchat. Hit up my Instagram DMs if you're cute.
That is all for this week, ya football heads.
We'll see you next week, and tune in so you can catch them all.